Tonight is the Dundies, the annual awards ceremony here at Dunder Mifflin, and this is everyone's favorite day. People around here don't get very many trophies, because who's going to give a trophy to Ernest or Gertrude? I can tell you what, it won't be one of Ernest's 4 wives. Plus, bonus, it's really, really funny.
So are you ready for the Dundies?
You know what they say about a plane crash where it's so awful you can't look away? The Dundies are like a plane crash that you want to look away from, but you can't, because your boss is making you stare at it.
So why don't I take you on a tour of past Dundie winners? Ernest, why don't you show off some of your Dundies to the camera?
Oh, I can't. I keep them hidden. I don't want to look at them and get too cocky.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I keep mine above my desk in my room.
Yeah, TMI.
Although Babe Ruth was a role model to many in the sports community during the 1920s, he had his own problems too. He was an avid drinker and many would say a womanizer as well. I received a Dundie for the most likely to die doing something stupid. I mean, I was the first person to fly solo across the Atlantic nonstop, but I got paid $25,000 from some swanky New York hotel to do it. So I guess it was pretty cool. And all I packed was a jug of water and a couple sandwiches. So, who are we laughing at?
Just something somebody wrote.
Who? Charlie Chaplin?
No.
What is it? Who wrote it?
It's private.
It's about Babe.
That's defacement of company property. Ernest, if you tell me, you'll be punished less, since you've somehow managed to survive in your lifetime. Skin cancer, anthrax, malaria, dysentery, hepatitis, anemia, high blood pressure, a ruptured kidney, liver, and spleen, pneumonia, a crushed vertebrae, fractured skull, and 3 car crashes.
Okay, now I'm laughing at you.
Can I have everyone's attention, please? The heroes in this office are terrible. I mean, come on, that stuff that he wrote on the bathroom wall about Babe. I know he's been chewing tobacco and drinking whiskey since he was 8, but I expect better from you.
Alright, everyone, come on, just look, I don't
People
have time. I said I don't have time for this.
actions.
Alright, I know there's been rumors going around about how there's no money in the budget or the jokes are really bad, but the Dundies bring out the best in every one of us. Can't you guys see that? So, in honor of that, for the first time tonight, we're going to invite all of our friends and family to come to the awards night with us. And I know, Charles, you lost your kid to kidnapping and you lost $50,000, but everyone else, let's bring our family and just celebrate and have a good time like the Dundies are meant to do. Sometimes I just miss the old days when I was out on the field with no worries. I was known as the Great Bambino. Man, those were the days. Back then, when I was with the Red Sox, I won 3 World Series, and now, 104 seasons later, they've only won 4. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 1920's Dundie Awards. I'm your host, Babe Ruth.
Waitress, I'll give you a water, please. Put it on the group tab.
Sorry, Charlotte, no group tab this year.
Is he serious? You said we could bring our families.
I did. And Gertrude, why didn't you bring anyone?
I don't need family when I got my 3 Olympic medals.
And this first award goes to someone who really lights up the office and the boxing ring. Someone who I know all of us can't keep from checking out. And Sexiest in the Office award goes to Ernest! Yeah, here you go, you sexy thing. Yeah, I know you box.
What am I gonna do with this award? I don't know, nothing. Probably just hide it behind my best-selling books, The Sun Also Rises, A Farewell to Arms, and In Our Time.
Ernest Hemingway based a lot of his stories about his own life experiences.
Oh, it's so freaking hot out there. And what am I supposed to do with Charles sucking the life out of the place? Oh, of course, he's early with the cue. Down in my cellar. Down in my cellar.
The song Everybody Wants a Key to My Cellar, written by Burt Williams, is a product of the Prohibition era, a time in American history when the production, importation, transportation, and sale of alcoholic beverages was illegal. Many Americans viewed this legislation as one of the most repressive acts by the U.S. government in the 1920s.
I've got everything. And this next Dundie is the Rolling in the Dough Award, and it goes to me. I mean, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I made more than President Hoover did last year. 83 grand doesn't sound too bad, does it?
Who would pay a guy that wasn't a unanimous pick for for the Baseball Hall of Fame.
And this next Dundee goes to the first and fastest woman to swim the English Channel, Gertrude Ederle. But I mean, it's not hard to be the fastest woman when you're the only woman.
Thanks for that. I was also not only the fastest woman, I was faster than all the men, by 2 hours to be exact. I also have plenty of swimming records, my 3 Olympic medals, and was called America's Best Girl by President Coolidge.
Horse feathers, but I'm used to it by now.
Gertrude, you're outnumbered 3-1 in the office. Get over it. The final award of the night will be the Big Cheese Award. This award goes to someone who took the world by storm when he flew his plane across the Atlantic, the spirit of St. Louis. This award goes to Charles Lindbergh.
Let's be honest, we all knew. I was a shoo-in for this Dundee. I mean, come on, now I can sit it on my display case right next to my Flying Cross medal from Calvin Coolidge.
Go Charles.
During the 1920s, many new fads were introduced. Many people enjoyed them and thought they were roaring, but others thought of them as repressive and didn't like the changes that were happening. One of these fads was flagpole sitting, where people would sit on top of flagpoles for hours to test their own endurance. Gertrude was annoyed because she was stuck at the Dundies while her favorite flagpole sitter was in town.
Well, that was quite a Dundies. I'm ready to go and spend some time with my wife. Back in Europe, we moved there after my son died. I'm still continuing to work in aviation, you know. I serve on the council for the Pan American Airways, and I'm a pretty good advisor at times.
So interesting, Charles.
Although Babe may not have found it interesting, after World War II, Lindbergh wrote several books, including Of Flight and Life, written in 1948, and The Spirit of the St. Louis, written in 1953, which in fact won the 1954 Pulitzer Prize.
Well, for your information, I was able to go on a tour of some German aviation facilities with Nazi leader Hermann Göring.
Hanging out with Nazis, that's the cat's meow.
Charles, that's way slower paced than from where I come from in Manhattan. Luckily, I can get home quickly in my new red roadster that my dad bought me after I swam the English Channel.
Well, guys, I just divorced my wife Hadley. Time to go find a new wife. I'm trying to beat my record of being a bachelor for only 17 days. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye, Ernest.
Alright, guys. Time to turn in. I got a big game tomorrow.
All right, let's go.
These were just 4 of the heroes of the 1920s. There are many more people who made an impact during this time, such as Charlie Chaplin, Albert Einstein, Jim Thorpe, Helen Willis, and many more.